Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bell to Bells, your women's wrestling wire. I am Mr. Warren Hayes. Thank you very much for checking us out today here on youtube.com/bell to bells. And, as usual, when we get an interview, it's always a good day to pop in. But I would say that it is a particularly good day to pop in. I think there's something special because this is one that I've been looking forward to for a while. Chomping at the bit to get the opportunity to talk with this wrestler we have here who is all over the place these days. We're going to take a moment to chat, see what's going on. I am joined today by Lady Forst. Thank you very much for being here, Lady Forst. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
Well, that's fantastic. And thankfully you're doing well. I think a lot of us are doing better as opposed to 2020, right? Because, 2020 being what it is. And particularly, I think a lot of wrestlers who work the independent circuit, such as yourself, 2020 was a bit of a bummer. I know you managed to stay somewhat busy, which wasn't so bad. You had some bookings, saw you on AEW Dark, stuff like that. But wrestling's opening up now. Shows are coming back. It's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, wrestling is thriving right now. It's definitely been a good, healthy year for independent wrestlers. And like you said, 2020, I was fortunate enough to be able to work, even do some filming stuff while some wrestlers really didn't work at all. Mm-hmm. So I learned a whole lot in 2020. I think that's where most of my growth actually came. But yeah, wrestling is alive and well this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you can tell that everyone's really excited and everyone's booking shows. You try to cover them, and we have to pick and choose now. Last year we were just like begging for coverage. And
yes.
And now we're sort of like, oh, we have to choose a little bit. And that's it. You've already been pretty much all over the place, right? You've done some GCW shows. You've done the, Alley Cat shows. You fought Molly McCoy on one. Edith Surreal on another. You've been on Impact Wrestling. You fought. I don't know. Maybe our fans out there have heard of Deonna Purrazzo.
Maybe.
Maybe. You've been on Beyond. You were recently at Warrior Wrestling, challenging Kylie Ray for her title. And you've been on the NWA.
Yes.
Yeah, you've shown up there.
All within the last, I guess, 6 months if you're counting AEW. Maybe a little longer. But yeah, this year has been good to me. I worked hard and I'm getting lucky and blessed with opportunities. But yep, NWA Impact, where the most recent a couple weeks ago was Kylie Ray. Yes. And all very good, exciting things happening. Very cool.
Well, let's talk about it. If we, about the NWA, because, you're currently in the championship series that they've started, which is really cool. Part of Aaron Stevens and Taryn Terrell's team, right?
Yeah.
Interesting concept, right? Where everyone's sort of wrestling and the team scores points and whichever team wins gets opportunities.
It's different. It's cool. It's definitely an interesting take, and it had like a draft day feel, which I don't know, I was kind of into. I know we got like mixed reviews, but I think challenging the narrative and creating, a new kind of history in wrestling is really awesome. So it's fun to be a part of. I love it there. I love the locker room. Nothing but good things to say.
So, well, I think the concept is very cool as well. I think it's really interesting, and especially like if you like hanging around there and locker room being pretty cool, and they're pretty open to women's wrestling these days. I know. Yeah. Mickey James starting to sprinkle some announcements for Empowerrr.
Yes.
How's it looking on your end as far as that show goes?
I cannot give you any scoop. I have not officially been announced.
Oh, okay.
I have not been announced for Empowerrr.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she says with the hugest grin on her face. But okay, no, we did not get confirmation, folks. Absolutely.
Nope. No confirmation from me.
But it's very exciting. I think it's really cool that you're involved at this period in NWA's history. I think it's really interesting. And then on top of that, you get, MLW puts out a tweet about their women's division asking, hey, who'd you like to see in our division? Gets who gets tagged over and over again. You, of course. And then you tweet out saying, oh, I take a day off, I go to the water park and
You're right.
rip
I
my
come
mentions.
back to my phone. I'm like, what's happening?
So first and foremost, what are your favorite rides at the water park? Like, what do you like to do?
The lazy river.
You're a lazy river type, okay? With the inner tubes.
No, I'm actually like, I'm a thrill ride, like all the way from the top straight down, kind of slide gal also. But yesterday was very much a lazy river day. I needed just a break. It was kind of on the whim. I went with my best friend, and it was just nice to relax and chill.
No, that's fantastic. I guess I'm past the like super high, like 85-degree drops.
Right.
I think I'm very much an inner tube kind of guy, and when you have kids, you do the smaller kiddie rides as well, and the buckets of water that fall on your head and all that.
Right.
So that's a whole other thing. But you come back and you made, like I said, you made a note of it. You're like, you got tagged all over that tweet. You're 3 years in the business.
Yes. 3 years. June was 3 years.
June this year.
Yes.
And I mean, you've got to be pretty happy at the fan base that you've accrued for yourself at this point. People, or at least, the attention that you've been garnering for yourself.
I am very, very proud of the fan base that I have, because I feel like it's a genuine audience that, I connect to, I talk to, we relate. It's not always about wrestling, and that's important, right? We're people, we're wrestlers, but I think it's really important to communicate and genuinely connect to your audience, because they're going to follow no matter where we go, because right now there are so many options, and I know everyone has their flavor of ice cream, and they're really set on, I think you should be here. I think you should be here.
Sure.
And the bottom line is just, I think we should be happy. I think we should have what we want and what's a good fit. And I think a lot of fans do understand that. They're like, hey, it's just about what really makes sense for that individual person. But my fan base is awesome. I was really bummed when I got hacked, because it's so hard to build. Yeah. So thankfully I still have my Twitter, which is, I'm the most active on. And like I said, it was really, it was wild to come back to all of those tags for MLW, which was cool though. It's, it makes you feel like people really do want to see you succeed. And that's always a great thing.
Now, I think that, and it's been demonstrated, and you've practically said it yourself, independent wrestlers, the connection with fans is super important. And I think social media does a lot to help you in that direction. Does it also help you when it's time to make a case for a promoter? Does that also help in a certain degree?
I can't tell you how that works. I think everyone's case is different. I think everyone makes it in their own way. If it's hard work, if it's knowing someone, if it's the fans, if it's other wrestlers putting you over, it's just, you never know. It always helps. It definitely will never hinder your progress if the fans are behind you. I think it's important if people want to tune in, if they want to watch you, if you're promoting and they actually are saying, hey, I want to watch this product because this wrestler is on it. So it's definitely helpful. I don't know how much really it works though.
But it has to help. But besides, it's like, you like you said, it's the connections with the fans that matter. Yes. What do you connect most with your fans outside of wrestling? What's the one topic that you feel, oh, well, we talk about this and people get really excited?
So it's fighting with my husband, I'm pretty sure.
Poor Victor.
I know. People just went like AWOL when he was sleeping on the couch and he was making memes of me with fans, and they were all making fun of me together. So like, it was at my expense. Between that, his peanut butter wars, I guess the dogs.
The dogs, yes.
Yeah, and maybe some positivity. I'm big on mental health. It's important for self-care and all that kind of good stuff. So I try to put out good things, not be super controversial. That's just not what I want to put out in the world, at least not on Twitter. So
sure, which is absolutely fair. Shout out to Victor Benjamin, by the way.
Hi, hubby.
But yeah, so the connection with the fans, and like we were talking about, NWA, MLW opening up as well. Ring of Honor is doing stuff, getting a little more serious, or at least, sort of leaning into what they wanted to do last year, I think, with their women's division this year with Women of Honor. You've got Beyond and WWR Plus that are working together. It's a good time to be in women's wrestling, isn't it?
Yes, it sure is.
The
And it's a good time,
opportunities are there, right?
right? And it's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I mean, you have so many options, and I think it's incredible now that we're kind of working together and not just pigeonholing ourselves in one area. So everything is more open, and people are more open-minded, and I think that's what helps. When you're closed-minded or very narrow, it's just you get disappointed a lot faster. So right now, I think there's so much good stuff out there.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that choice is a good thing?
Choice is a great
Look
thing.
at that.
There are so many options. No one has a right to be miserable or cranky. Like, go find what you want to watch and just stay in your own. Just go do what makes you happy.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Like, listen, if someone doesn't like scary movies, I'm not going to drag them to a horror film, even if that's what I was acting in, right?
Sure.
Like, I'm not going to say you have to watch a scary movie, even though I know you absolutely hate them. Or maybe someone gives it a try and they're like, hey, not for me. They don't have to bury it. But there are so many genres and so many styles and so many options for people that there's so much out there that can make you happy.
I legitimately remember a time when there were 3 stations on the dial, when,
Right.
and I feel like even today there are a lot of people who still act that way,
Right.
because there's no more, there wasn't any choice. It was like you can either flip to 1, 2, or 3. And if
Right.
you didn't like anything, well, then you were, what else could you do? But like you said, the choices are there. They're all fantastic. Is there any particular place that you'd like to land? Like, let's say that somewhere you'd like to call home, whether it's a nationally broadcast wrestling promotion or not, where is there a place that you'd like to eventually call home?
I feel like this is a question that I get often, and I kind of stick with the same whatever fits and makes me happy. I'm not
Sure.
dead set on being one place to say that I'm there, to say that I have a contract, to say that, I made it, whatever it is. I think it's important really to want to be used properly, utilized, the direction of my character, my likeness, whatever it is. Those things are top priority. I want to be happy, and it's not just because I can say I'm signed with someone. So
Sure. Well, it goes hand in hand with what you just said previously.
yes.
Something very interesting that you're also involved in, or that you're at least as a participant and competitor, is CFU, right?
Yes. Yep.
Which combines MMA and pro wrestling in a sort of a shoot style environment where it's in a cage. No,
Yes.
not a ring properly set up. It's put together by Mayday, who probably a lot of people have already heard of, who's moved, who's expanding out of Grit and Glitter and promoting shows. So it's a little more shoot style, right? That's the idea.
Yes.
How different it is to prepare for that
Very.
than to like your typical wrestling match, or is it similar?
I don't think it's similar. Maybe in the way that you have to study your opponent, but it's entirely different. I think in the approach of having to finish a fight in a different way.
Right.
I think, the preparation is definitely different, and if you're not a vet in mixed martial arts, it's even more challenging. If you've never been in a cage and you never experienced what that feels like, it's certainly different.
I feel like not a lot of people realize that you do have MMA training, right?
Yep, a little bit.
A little bit.
Few years, my husband's an undefeated pro, so training with him, taking his classes, being in the fight gym, it's definitely more than most. I guess I never put that on anything because I didn't compete. I haven't had any sort of, real fight. It's just been training. But that's more training than a whole lot of people, and especially pro wrestlers. So I think it's great that people get to see a different side of me. I think they're used to seeing like an elegant gymnastic style.
Right.
And when you combine that with an aggressive fight style, it makes for a good blend of destruction.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, it just, it opens things up, discover new sides of you. Anyway, you're going to be doing that on September 12th. CFU will be broadcast on independent wrestling.tv if you want to check that out. And, here we're talking about it. Here's some contrasts, right? elegant gymnastic styles, a little more gritty, hard fighting. You know, one of the things that I've noticed watching you work is that you're able to transition between babyface and heel as far as your character work and your in-ring goes very, very easily. And I don't mean that absolutely not as a shot. I think it's tremendous because I think it's a testament to your character work that you're able to jump in between both so easily. But is there one or the other? Is there a baby face or a heel? Which one comes easier to you, I guess, is what I want to know.
So I will say when it comes to promos and speaking, it's definitely more natural to be a heel. I think to be a really good empathetic baby face, it's a niche art that not a lot do very well right now. I think like Kylie, she's uber babyface, and I understand I will never be that sort of babyface, right? It has to be true to who you are and what you do.
Sure.
And I am sort of aggressive, so trying to find a balance with not being reprehensible as a heel, but promoters ask for different things. There are different storylines. We're not in just one promotion, so it is hard to flip that switch. It really is. I think I have much more work being a heel, especially working a tag with my husband, intergender matches, being heels. But you find that there comes a time where people want to see something else. Mm-hmm. They want, I don't know if they just want to test the waters or that's what the fans maybe expect, but you have to be willing and ready to step up and see what fits true to your character and still be able to kind of navigate those waters.
And at this, there's probably some exploration involved in that as well, because on the indies, you can, like you said, you can do all sorts of stuff, whatever the promoter needs. So there's probably a lot of character, I don't know if you call it character persona exploration at the same time, right?
A little bit, yeah. I think it's easier to dig in when you're in a story because it is real, right? It's something that you have reference point. When someone just says, hey, just work this person and there's no rhyme or reason, it is challenging to say, what can I provide for someone that is authentic but believable, right? So it's always a challenge. I think unless you're a mainstay somewhere and everyone knows and you're 100% heel or 100% baby, it's always a challenge. But we should never stop working or exploring. We should always, as people too, I'm not a flat individual. You're not a flat individual. You're going to catch them on a bad day, on a good day. Mm-hmm. It was a bad year. Someone, we all have challenges and adversity that we have to face, sometimes more gracefully than others. Sometimes we just suck and we break down and we get angry. And like, those are things that a true person and a character have to go through also.
Very well said. Very well said. I want to ask you about a tweet that you put out not that long ago. First, I'd be remiss to say that you're currently, to not mention, let me start over again. I'd be remiss to not mention that you are currently the Hurricane Pro Women's Champion, right?
Yes, I am.
And you put out a tweet recently talking about a recent match that you had that involved a printer, a plastic pony, a detached guardrail, Legos, and chairs. Now, when you're having a wrestling match and when chairs seems the more normal thing being used in the match, what was going on here? Were you fighting in a kindergarten?
Right. Just you saying that out loud was spectacular. It was probably the plastic pony. That's pretty funny. So it was a last woman standing match, and it was a best of 3 series.
Who were you fighting?
And I feel like we had given what we wanted to wrestling, and we were just taking each other to the limit, and things got a little crazy. Whatever was under the ring,
And there was hang on. There was a plastic pony under the ring.
There was a plastic pony under the ring. Yes, there was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Go with it, right? Who were you fighting?
Heather Monroe.
Heather Monroe. She's fantastic. She's great.
Yes, she is.
And you won.
I did win. I gave her a Samoan drop onto the Legos, and then I stacked chairs on top of her, and I dropped the temperature. For those of you who don't know, that's a top rope moonsault. Mm-hmm. Dropped the temperature on the Legos and chairs while she was smashed in the middle. It's fantastic. Oh. It was,
Mustn't have felt great for you either. Good.
Yeah, it took a lot out of me, but she was down for the 10, and that was how I retained the title.
And ultimately, that's what matters. There you
that's
go.
what matters. Right?
Lady Frost, we're going to wrap this up. But before we do, you know how, a lot of interviews like to end with, name association. Like I name you someone and then you tell me what they think about. I like to spice it up a little bit.
All right.
I'm going to name you a wrestler, but instead of telling me what you think about them, I want you to tell me what kind of stipulation you'd like to fight them under if you ever did.
Oh, boy.
Like stipulation or gimmick, whatever.
All right.
Okay? How about we lean in here gently? We'll start. Let's say Becky Lynch.
Whew. I think a good old-fashioned street fight with Becky.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Get your CFU training in there. There you go.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Serena Deeb.
Oh, she is the master. She is a professor. So definitely more on the lines of a pure wrestling match. She would probably school me, and I hope that this never gets out because hopefully I get to wrestle her one day. But she schools everyone because she's the GOAT. So
sure.
Professional wrestling match with Serena.
Just a straight up one-on-one professional wrestling match. No more gimmicks than that. I love it.
No ponies.
No plastic ponies for this one. What if you fought Asuka again?
Oh my. I have no idea. Maybe I'd put her in a Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you're gonna get back for.
Yeah, right. We're gonna take it up a notch.
There you go. Matt Cardona.
Definitely not a death match because he's now the new death match king.
You're not a death match kind of guy.
He can bring his fiance and we can have an intergender match.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, and no, you're thinking of Victor.
Yes, I am. Of course.
Very nice. Very, very kind of you. Ray Lynn.
Raylan and I can have any style match forever because she's tremendous and we have wrestled so many damn times we could just do it anywhere. Taco festivals are great. Somewhere there was like a bounce house at the taco festival, so like a kids park. There it is, a children's park. That's where I wrestle Raylan.
with the taco trucks, like with the whole setup.
Yeah, just give me all the props, like a circus. We need a circus.
Danhausen.
Oh, he needs to like a bar, probably like a bar somewhere. Yeah.
So a bar fight? Is that what we do? Like inside, like a pub fight?
I think I don't know if it's the first time he ever did it, but I think it caught on that he was doing the tequila bit on a bar, like a bar top. Yeah. So I forever remember that memory and that clip. So it just makes me think like we would be dancing on the bar with whatever. Yeah. Snowballs and teeth. I don't know. Sounds great in my head.
Hey, you call it a snowballs and teeth match. I think that's a great, you got a great pitch line right there. Yeah. And let's wrap it up with Gail Kim.
Woo! She's retired. So
yeah, let's say you were able to draw her out of retirement because of your excellent heel work.
It would have to be a championship match of some kind because she's the GOAT. How's that?
Okay, well, so you wouldn't settle for anything less, not just beating her for a title.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. That's fantastic stuff. And this was a fantastic talk as well, Lady Frost. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your super busy schedule to do this. I really do. Before we wrap up, please let us know where everyone can follow you, where they can buy your merchandise. And of course, all the links will be below in the description, but please go ahead and let us know.
The easiest link is all my links. It's on my Twitter at Real Lady Frost, and it links you everywhere you need to go. Pro Wrestling Tees, Lady Frost on Big Cartel, and at Real Lady Frost. Hopefully my Instagram comes back, but it's not back yet. But at Real Lady Frost, Twitter is the easiest place to find me right now.
There you go. So follow her there. Follow the all my links link as well. She's out there. She's doing all sorts of great stuff. Thank you so much again for joining me today, Lady Frost, here on Bell to Bells. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And thank all of you for watching us and tuning in today. Tuning in like it's 1972. Look at me go. But you know the drill. Like, subscribe. You know what to do from this point on. Mr. Warren Hayes, and we'll see you next time.